this?
Josh?
Oh, hi, Josh. Is your mommy or daddy home?
No.
Oh, so you're there by yourself, huh?
Yeah.
Well, what are you doing, Josh?
Watching TV.
Well, Josh, I just bought some ice cream. What do you say I bring it over?
Excuse me. Hi. Look, can you help me? My dog's run away, and I know he's around here somewhere, and I sure could use some help. Terrific.
Laura, you really are gorgeous. Let's try one to the other side. Go ahead. Oh, that's great. Great. Now the other side. Go ahead. Oh, that's great. Let's try this now. Pull your strap down a little. Yeah, great. A little more. Just a little more. Oh, that's really great.
Hello, I'm Daniel J. Travanti. In the last few years, we've been bombarded by stories of children who are victims. Missing children, abused children, children who've been sexually molested. These stories send out a powerful message about the real dangers our children face. The statistics are staggering. In the United States, each year, some 200 bodies of children are found and remain unidentified. Thousands of children are criminally abducted. Each year, there are at least 200,000 reports of child sexual abuse. The time has come to replace fear with power. It's time to replace milk carton pictures and violent headlines with pictures of children who are safe and happy. Children who can simply get on with the business of growing up. Let's start with the basics. Remember those words of warning you heard as a child? Stay away from strangers? Well, it's good advice, but it's not good enough. To raise a street-smart child, you have to go a step further. Does your child know what a stranger is? What a stranger does? The fact is, most children just don't know. They think a stranger is someone threatening and evil. The problem with telling your children, don't talk to strangers, is that the bad guys don't always look bad.
A stranger sometimes wears a hat, sometimes a black or brown jacket, and this guy with a beard, some hair, a mustache, and some glasses. Or maybe with a coat on that goes over their mouth. I have lots of versions. Aliens, regular strangers, robbers. I think a stranger is like a punk rocker that drinks beer all day and sits around in a vacant lot. A stranger looks mean and ugly. A creep. Hairy. Mean. Big. Bigger than you. Bigger than most people.
It's not surprising that children get confused about what strangers look like. Sometimes even we grown-ups don't know the difference. Take a look at these pictures. Richie looks like a nice guy. He was a school teacher. He was also a camp counselor and a boys' club volunteer. Richie was a buddy. The kids looked up to him. In 1985, Richard Ausch was sentenced to 74 years in prison for molesting 4 boys. He was arrested in a motel room. Police found him with a nude boy. Take a look at Mike, a 23-year-old chauffeur. He looks like a nice guy. Neighbors called him a good kid, a favorite with the children. There are other ways to describe Michael Rivera: child abuser, kidnapper, attempted murderer. In November 1986, he was convicted of the kidnapping and attempted murder of an 11-year-old girl. Ileana looks like the kind of woman you'd like to have taking care of your kids. In fact, she and her husband ran a babysitting service in an upper-middle-class neighborhood. In 1985, Ileana Fuster was sent to jail for 10 years after she pleaded guilty to committing sexual acts with preschool children. And take a look at Terry, another nice-looking guy. A school teacher who taught elementary school kids for almost 20 years. but Terry Bartholomew is a convicted child molester, found guilty of some 30 counts of sexual abuse involving third graders. His sentence, 44 years in prison. Finally, take a look at Joe, a model citizen, a respected businessman, president of the local Kiwanis Club. But Joseph Crosby is a convicted child molester, guilty of molesting 4 little girls, among them his own stepdaughter and a friend's child. Every detective we talked to said, we always hear the same thing about these characters. He was such a nice-looking guy. Remember, child abusers are counting on children to think that nice-looking people won't hurt them. So children must be taught that a stranger is anyone they don't know, and they should stay away. No matter how nice a stranger looks, no matter how nice a stranger acts, no matter what a stranger says, stay away.
Like if they offer you candy or money, you don't want to take it, because who knows? I don't know somebody. Nothing to do with them. It can be anybody. You can never tell. Regular people.
They look like human beings.
A stranger can look like anything at all. Anyone at all.
How do we protect our children from criminals? How do we keep them from being an easy mark, victims who fall for a criminal's game? Our job is to make sure that we and our children learn to outsmart the criminal looking for a target. Experts suggest the following tips. 1. Don't single out your child with personalized clothes. It just makes the child more vulnerable to strangers.
Hi, Bobby.
When a child hears his name, he feels an immediate trust, a sense of intimacy.
Hi, Beth. Hey, that's a great bike you've got there.
If you give your children personalized items, make sure they're the kind that stay at home. Their toothbrush, their laundry bag. It's safer. Number 2. Don't dress your child like a rich kid. Don't set him apart from the crowd. If children in the neighborhood are wearing sweatshirts, don't dress him in a jacket and tie. Criminals are drawn to children who look as if they have money. So save special clothes for special days. Number 3, there's safety in numbers. It's safer for a child to be with other children. Children off alone are the easiest marks. They are more susceptible to any kind of attention since they are often looking for something to do, something to keep them busy. If your children want to play alone, let them play at home or in their own backyard. A child alone in just about any public place is not safe. Number 4. There is no correct age to let a child out alone, but preschoolers 6 and under are too young in anybody's book. Before your child is ready to go out alone, he or she should have learned the safe places along any route. Number 5. Teach your children never to take shortcuts. Children love to find the shortest way home. It makes them feel smart and powerful, but it's not a street-smart thing to do. Criminals often look for their victims in these out-of-the-way places. Children should stick to main streets. Number 6. Children should be told to trust their instincts. If something makes them feel uncomfortable or funny inside, they should be told not to ignore it, but to act on it. Tell children that even if they aren't 100% sure, if they feel scared or suspicious, it's always smart to make a move. For example, if a car is getting too close, if they think they're being followed, they should turn immediately and run in the opposite direction. That's a street-smart kid. Number 7. Teach your children to run fast, to run away if they feel threatened. Teach them if a person they don't know approaches and makes them feel scared, they shouldn't be embarrassed to scream out for help, to scream and run towards a crowded place. One of the ways to make it harder for the criminal to get through to your child is to use something called a code word. Cops on the beat agree that the code word is one of the best defenses around. It's simple. You and your child agree on a special word. It can be any word, a word you come up with together and hold on to. The important part is that it's a little secret between you and your child. From then on, your child knows never to go off with anyone unless that person uses this secret code word. No matter what the person says, if he doesn't use the code word, the child knows he cannot go off with him.
Pizza.
Toothbrush.
Buzzard breath.
My code word is baseball because that's what my mom thought of.
But now I know your code word.
I know.
So what are you going to do now?
Change it.
Police departments around the country endorse code words and urge parents to use them. There are many documented cases where code words have been used successfully by children against would-be abductors.
One case in New Jersey where a 10-year-old girl was leaving school and a man came up in a vehicle and tried to get her into the car. When she asked him what the code word was, of course he sped off because he didn't know it. It did work.
Every family is supposed to have a code word, and if a stranger comes and says, "Your mother asked me to pick you up. Come in my car and take a ride with me," you're supposed to ask them, "What's the code word?" And if they say it wrong, don't come with them. Beach ball. Giggle.
Well, in our family, we'd like a weird one, so it'd probably be chocolate bars.
Metroplex.
I'm not supposed to tell.
Well, make up a code word for me right now on the spot.
Pumpkin.
But that's not your real one. What's your real one?
Not allowed to tell.
In arming our children with street smarts, we've explained to them what a stranger is, and we've created a secret code word with them. But you might be wondering if we're not scaring children to death by telling them that the world is a dangerous place, a place in which strangers are evil and secret code words are needed for protection. Are we actually doing more harm than good? Most experts say no, absolutely not. That what really terrifies a child is ignorance, not knowledge. Giving a child information is giving him power. We spoke to one man who now believes that the more our children know what to do when they face a dangerous situation, the better their chances. His name is John Walsh, and his son was Adam. In 1981, 6-year-old Adam Walsh disappeared from this South Florida shopping mall without a clue, without a trace.
We don't know the direction that he headed in. He's a very bright child, but very shy and rather introverted. He's of a slim build, and we just appreciate anything that anyone could give us any information on him.
2 weeks later, after an exhaustive search, Adam's severed head was found in a canal, 120 miles from his home. Are we scaring our children by teaching them how to be street smart? Not according to Adam's father, John Walsh.
To put your head in the sand, to bury your head in the sand, and say my child could not be victimized in light of all the things that have happened in this country and what continue to happen is doing your child a disservice. It's tough stuff. But you got to remember your child is the potential victim. You won't be the victim. You owe it to your child to give them appropriate, intelligent information and to deal with it. When we teach our children, don't run across the street, we don't say, you'll get hit by a tractor trailer and you will be splattered all over the windshield. We teach them an appropriate way. We don't tell them, don't go by the pond, your bloated body will be found in the spring. We say, don't go by the pond because it's not something you should do without supervision. I've often said it, this is a pretty gruesome analogy. I would rather have had Adam scared, or I would rather have my new children a little bit aware, more scared, than to go to the morgue and identify their body. I don't think I could ever go through that again.
Eeps, ups, oops, crocodile and flops.
To make our children street smart, we have to give them honest information about the world they live in, truthful information. But do we also need to give them power, real power, physical power?
Sit.
Should you teach your children self-defense, to be tough?
No, I can't, sir.
Go!
Sir!
Go!
The policemen and detectives who work the beat say no. Learning martial arts may be fine for building self-esteem, but it's not the safest way for a child to protect himself against a full-fledged criminal. Around the station, they call Officer Don Rosano the Hulk. He comes up against child abusers every day. He's seen more than his share of street action, yet he advises against self-defense for kids.
Self-defense is not a good way to fend off an attacker. An attacker has guns, knives, sticks, and is usually much larger, stronger, older than the child himself. I don't care what kind of a belt, his black belt, green belt, whatever, he's not going to, 6-year-old child is not going to beat a older person out there in a street brawl when the person wants to get the child. A better defense would be to use your head, scream, run, yell, just get away from it as fast as possible. Go to a populated place where there's kids around, go tell someone. 6U11, I'll handle the call, the child abuse investigation, 545 North Wilcox Avenue.
So most experts say fighting back is a losing battle for children. Instead, it's better to make sure your child knows certain street-smart basics.
And my address is...
Does your child know his name, address, and phone number? It's amazing how many children don't have this necessary information.
I forgot my address.
5928 592 22321.
I got confused and then it just popped out of my mind. I don't know my address.
A child who doesn't know his address or phone number is missing a major defense.
One.
He's more likely to panic if he's lost or separated from his parents. He has no way of getting home or calling for help.
And 818. And I don't know anything else.
I don't know my telephone number. Mom didn't tell me. I think it's 341. 341. I don't know math.
I forgot my address. My mom never told me my phone number and my address.
To prepare your child, make sure he knows his full name, address, area code, and telephone number. Teach your children the emergency number 911 and show them how to dial it. And do they know how to dial O for operator and ask for help?
Hello, operator.
And finally, do your children know who to go to if they're ever lost? They should know to look for someone in a uniform, a store clerk, a bus driver, a security or police officer. There are people out there who prey on children. Who are these people? What does someone who wants to hurt your child look for? Why does he pick certain children as victims and leave others alone? Criminals rarely strike at random. They select children for specific reasons. They look for easy prey. They are careful in their approach. Joseph Henry knows all about approaching children. He's a convicted child molester who admits to sexually molesting at least 22 children. How does he seduce his victims?
It's this sixth sense most molesters have that they know the child won't put up much of resistance. I gave them this feeling, that I gave them the feeling of affection, of belonging, of being wanted. And it was like spinning a spider web. And before you know it, they're caught.
What makes children fall into a molester's web, and why is it so easy for them to get caught?
Most of my victims were easy targets. If you're into it, really, and you want to pick up kids off the streets, you pick one that's always alone, and the look on their faces, you can tell the look on their faces, that sad, puppy dog eye look. There'd be bribery. I'll do this for you, I'll take you somewhere if you do something for me. Most cases, they trusted me, and 80% of the time, my victims would do whatever I asked them to do.
By far, the most important way to keep children safe is to give them the right to say no to a grown-up when something feels wrong. To say no to an adult or any person in authority is tough for most good kids. We have to give children the right to say no sometimes, and they have to feel that they have our approval. Child molesters simply aren't interested in children who resist. Saying no works.
No! 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 Leave me alone. Get away from me.
We all want to bring up polite children. But there are times when children shouldn't be perfect little ladies and gentlemen. Adam Walsh was a perfect gentleman.
And all Adam Small life, we taught him not to take candy from strangers, all the things that we thought were appropriate, but we also taught him to respect authority figures unequivocally, that he should be a little gentleman. I think if we had put more emphasis on the fact that he had the right to say no, maybe the outcome of his case might have been different. I can only speculate what did or didn't happen to Adam. If he was a victim of violence in the short time he was separated from his mother and grabbed, then there would have been no way to educate Adam. But if he was a victim of a lure, which most children are, an adult telling them some fictitious story and they believing that bigger person, then maybe Adam's situation might have been different. He might have been alive today if he wasn't such a little gentleman.
Home movies, a tradition of the American family. Happy scenes we want to hold on to forever. A backyard barbecue on a Sunday afternoon, playing with the kids. We all thrive on the love and affection that come with raising a family. Giving a piggyback ride, leading a child by the hand, hugging. But sadly, love and affection sometimes go astray. Even people your children may know can take advantage of their innocence. One of the most shocking facts about sexual abuse is that in over 70% of the cases, it happens with someone the child knows well and that the family trusts. A parent, an uncle or aunt, a neighbor down the street. To help prevent abuse, street-smart parents must help their children feel comfortable about their bodies so that they can tell you if someone is touching them in the wrong place as easily as they could tell you about a scraped knee.
Ears.
The fact is,
Shoulders,
most children can't identify all their body
stomach,
parts, or they find it far
legs.
too embarrassing to talk about.
Do you have any words for your private parts?
I don't like to say them. No, I don't know. Your head, your eye, your nose, your mouth, your shoulder, your...
Even children presented with anatomically correct dolls, the type police use in sexual abuse cases, find genitals difficult to talk about.
What is that? Do you have a name for that? What is that called?
How can a child who's unable to talk about his body be expected to tell someone if he's been touched in a way he doesn't like? It isn't always easy for parents and children to talk to one another about these topics. If you're uneasy teaching your children the clinical names, teach them to say their private parts or the part of their body covered by underwear. Children very young can learn to speak openly and naturally about their bodies.
This is your mouth. This is your throat. These are your hands. This is your penis. These are your feet. And that's all.
It's only when children are comfortable talking about all the parts of their bodies that they can distinguish between something called good touch and bad touch and tell you about it.
Okay. Now, there's a difference between good touching and bad touching. Now, good touch. Now, wait a minute. I think I've got it. Now, good touching is touches like when the doctor is examining you or when your parents are addressing you. Like, those are good touches. But a bad touch is something like when someone you know or you don't know is touching in your private parts.
Children who know the difference between good touch and bad touch can recognize sexual abuse.
Good touching is like shaking hands or something.
They understand that good touch is being touched or held in a way that feels good and feels right. It's touching your child wants.
Somebody kisses you on the cheek like your mother or your father.
But bad touching is like when somebody touches you like in a private part.
Bad touch is just that. It doesn't feel good. It makes a child feel uncomfortable. They feel something is wrong.
My bad touch is when it feels weird.
Some kids are conned into doing it by adults. So the adults do it to them, and after a while they think about it and they feel that touch and they go, I don't think this was such a good idea.
Children are compassionate and affectionate. They often feel the natural desire to give love and affection. Parents should encourage this, but forcing a child to give affection is not a good idea. How many times have you said to your child, you must kiss Grandma goodbye, you must hug your uncle, you must give Aunt Sally a kiss for that lovely birthday present? That's forcing your child to give physical affection, and it's not a good idea. It sends out a message to a child that forced physical contact is acceptable to you. And to a child, that could mean that it's all right with you if someone is touching him and he doesn't want it.
My mommy makes me kiss my uncle, but I don't want to. But he never got me. I didn't get him. I ran upstairs.
Street-smart kids need street-smart parents. Remember the old saying, it's 10 o'clock. Do you know where your children are? Well, these days it's more important to know who they're with. Street-smart experts say you can never know too much about who your children spend time with. Who's supervising your children? Do you know enough about them? Have you really checked out the babysitter's references? Have you talked to someone she worked for? Most people who care for children are perfectly safe and devoted, but you have to check thoroughly. Checking thoroughly is what this man does for a living. He's Detective Rick Papke of the Los Angeles Police Department's Juvenile Division. For nearly 20 years, Detective Papke has investigated child abuse and molestation cases. He feels parents have a responsibility to do their own investigating.
Parents have got to communicate with their children. They have to pay more attention to them. They have to find out who they're playing with, where they're going when they leave home, and just ask questions. And I think that's one of the biggest problems that we have right now. A lot of people in these small bedroom communities think that child molesting and that sort of thing only occurs in the big city. It's the dirty old man with a trench coat and that sort of thing. Well, it isn't. Child molesters are policemen and firemen and teachers and religious leaders, and they come from every walk of life. I'm involved with youth sports off-duty with my children. I've coached a number of baseball, soccer, and football teams. I have a parents' meeting at the beginning of every season. I get everybody together and I tell them what's going to be happening during the season. And then about in the middle of my little talk, I ask them, by the way, how do you know I'm not a child molester? And I get a lot of strange looks and nervous laughter. But the point is, I tell these people, you don't know who I am.
No one wants his child to end up as a headline or statistic. But how can we be sure that the warnings and information we're giving our children are sinking in, that they'll know what to do if they run into danger? If child safety experts agree on one thing, it's that the single most important strategy in raising a street-smart child is in playing what-if games. For example, you say to your child, "What if we were at the mall and you got lost? What would you do?" These what-if games are really very direct. What you do is ask your child a question about a potentially dangerous situation and then listen to the answer.
The game is called What If? The What If game. Who's heard of the What If game?
These what-if games are being played in a classroom, but they can be played at home with your kids. There are only a few things to remember. You come up with the question, let your child come up with the answers.
Who's going to help me with this what if question that I have? Okay, right here, Alex. What if the phone rings right now? Go ahead and answer it, and I'll be on the other side. The only difference is you don't know me as a police officer. In fact, you don't know me at all. Why don't you go ahead and lift the phone up?
Hello?
Hello? Who's this?
Alex.
Alex what? What's your last name, Alex?
Augustine.
Alex Augustine? Where do you live, Alex Augustine?
Tarzana.
Tarzan, do you know your address?
Yes.
Could you tell me, please?
18525.
It doesn't matter if your child gets the wrong answer. It's much safer if he makes mistakes with you than out on the
Are you
street.
home by yourself now?
Much better to make a mistake when it's only a game.
Could you tell me what the phone number is, please?
9967.
Of course, eventually, it's up to the adult to direct the child to the right answer.
Should Alex have told everybody all that information? What might you want to do if you got the same phone call? Yes.
I would say nothing. I would just hang up the phone right after I said nothing.
Wouldn't that be kind of rude?
Yes, it would be rude, but if nobody should know, I shouldn't give out any information.
When you play what-if games with your children, don't stop too soon. When you hear the answer you want, you may be tempted to stop. Don't. Dig a little deeper. Ask why. Why not? For example, one mother we spoke to played a what-if game with her son. She said, "What if a nice man asked you to help him look for his puppy? Would you go?" The child shook his head and said, "No, no way." This mother went one step further. She said, "What if the man asked you to help find his kitten? Would you go then?" The child said, "Sure, that's different. Kittens need more help than puppies if they're lost." So the boy wouldn't go off with a man looking for a puppy, but he would go off and look for kittens. If the mother hadn't gone the extra step, she would have thought her son understood about not going off with strangers. Clearly, he didn't. You never know what your child's weak spots are unless you play what-if games and play them thoroughly.
What if I did this? What if I pulled over to the side of the street and I said, "Hi, you guys don't have to help me, but I got some candy I'd like you to have. Would you like some of my candy?"
No.
Oh? Well, what if I did this? What if I pulled over to the side of the street and I said, "Hey, your mom just called me up."
So remember what-if games. They're easy and they work.
Right. Come on, get in the car.
No.
No? You're not going to come with me?
No.
Did they do the right thing?
Yeah.
If you think they did the right thing, how about some applause for these guys? I think they did a great job. Well, you guys are enthusiastic.
How to raise a street-smart child. We've covered a lot of ground trying to show you how to do it, and we hope we've armed you with some of the tools you need to help your child survive in this often dangerous world. It's an important job, so let's go over some of the basics. Tip number 1.
911.
Make sure your child knows the emergency number 911.
911.
And that he knows to dial O for operator and ask for help.
Hello, operator.
Tip number 2. Be certain your children know their full name, address, and telephone number.
My phone number is
340-9525. My address is 21820 Mr. Del Monte Avenue, apartment 6.
Tip number 3. Remember, even adults are fooled by good-looking bad guys. Make sure your child knows what a stranger is and what to do if he's approached by one.
Well, I would say no and run away as fast as I can and get help.
Tip number 4. Work out a secret code word with your child. It works. For a person to abduct a child, he must first get the child to trust him. One way to stop this is with a code word.
Like if somebody comes up to you in a car, what I'd say is what's the code word, and if they didn't know the code word, I'd say forget it and just go away.
Make up a code word for me right here on the spot.
Pumpkin.
That's not your real one, though, is it?
Mm-mm.
What's your real one?
Not allowed to tell. My code word's machine gun, but now that I told you and now that it's on film, I'm going to change it.
Tip number 5. Play what-if games.
What if this happened to Carlos? Carlos, we're at the mall, and,
Better to imagine the worst than to experience it.
Well, when Carlos, in 5 minutes, went back to the shoe store, his dad was gone. What if that were to happen to you? What would you do? What are you going to do, Carlos?
Like, wait there for a little while.
Uh-huh.
And if he wasn't there, I'd go for help.
Tip number 6. Don't make your child a target. Don't make him an easy mark. Remember, kids with personalized clothes and kids who are dressed differently stand out from the crowd. They're more likely to attract a criminal's attention. Tip number 7. Give your children control of their bodies. Don't make body parts a taboo subject.
My stomach, my penis, my legs.
Make sure they can talk comfortably about all the parts of the body.
Feet and my toes.
If they can't, they won't be able to understand the difference between good touch and bad touch, and they won't be able to tell you when something is wrong.
But a bad touch is something like when someone you know or you don't know is touching in your private parts.
Tip number 8. Perfect little ladies and gentlemen aren't always safe children. A polite child isn't always a safe child. Give your child permission to not always obey adults, to say no to adults if something feels wrong.
No! No! Leave me alone!
Tip number 9. Children who are lost or in trouble often panic. They'll go up to anyone for help. Teach them to look for someone in a uniform, someone in charge, a store clerk, a bus driver, a police officer. Tip number 10. Teach your children to run away from danger. They can sense danger. Teach them to trust those instincts. If they feel threatened in any way, teach them to run away and scream, run to a crowded place, run for their life. Teaching your child street smarts is the closest we can get to playing it safe in today's world. We may not be able to change the world, but as adults, it's our job to prepare our children for the world as it is. And we can do it. I played John Walsh in the movie Adam. That experience brought me very close to the grief and horror of losing a loved child. Growing up street smart and safe will mean a lot to the children. It will mean a lot to all of us. I'm Daniel J. Travanti. Thank you.
This film is dedicated to the memory of Adam Walsh and all victims of child abuse. We would like to thank all the children who appeared in this film, none of whom were victims of child abuse. Street smarts are people that know what to say when a stranger comes up or asks them if they want a lollipop. Just never take it. Just say no. That's a street smart. You never know when a bad stranger, good stranger is gonna pop up. It's like you're eating meat from a pie and fish, and you choke on the bone. You never know when the next bone's gonna pop up.
And smart is that you know what's good or bad around the street and stuff. No! 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 Get away from me. They look like human beings. It can be anybody. You're supposed to ask them, what's the code word? And if they say it wrong, don't come with them. If a man came up to me, I would say no. I would just run away. I'd go, bye. I'm getting out of here. And just keep on walking. That's all. If you wish additional information on child abuse, write to the Adam Walsh Child Resource Center, 1876 North University Drive, Suite 306, Fort Lauderdale, Florida, 33322. Or if you are an abused child, call the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children at 1-800-843-5678.